KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
From KPBS, this is the Parker Edison Project, where we look at the tenets of culture and what really makes America great.
You want to just look like effortless, like you're just put together and you're literally the best version of yourself. You know, something that's important for people to know is that people make an impression within 7 seconds. Now with Zoom, it's probably 3.
In this episode, we look at that subtle form of communication we often use to express our identities, fashion.
The world makes you feel like who you are isn't beautiful. You know, who you are naturally. There's probably some young African child out there who feels like they're too dark or their nose is too wide or whatever. But the truth is, if you know your history, if you know who you are, then you know that you're beautiful the way that you are. That goes to young white kids, young Asian kids, young Mexican kids, because the kids shouldn't have to feel like we feel.
I'll talk to a clothing designer who uses fashion design to add to the conversation, and how a fashion retailer stays ahead of the trends and survives the rapidly changing fashion landscape.
We're trying to describe was the struggles that we've seen in San Diego with homelessness, and then our own personal struggles financially. And then we're like, what if we did like this trading places thing? Can we tell that story in 2 minutes?
That's coming up next on the Parker Edison Project.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
Saved message.
Yo, P-Double, Parker Edison, Don Juan DeParco, Talented Tiff, Parker the number man dude. Yo, what it do, man? I heard you got a new mention. I heard it's got a part. Yo, that's your boy, DJ E3, Underground Masters. You know, we've been rocking together for a long time. I just wanted to say, hit them upside the head, son. Do what it is that you do. You know how mayor's got a mayor. Show them how we represent from San Diego to the fullest. That's all you can do. One love. Peace.
You are now listening to the Parker Edison Project.
Good morning, and welcome to the Parker Edison Project, where we look at tenets of culture and what really makes America great. I got some dope stuff lined up for this episode, but before I get into that, my producers have been trying to get me to introduce myself more in the episodes, so I took the time to write down some little notes, facts, and I figure I'll share them with you just so we can kind of get to know each other a little bit. All right, here we go. Fact number 1, I've worn glasses my whole life. I had a pair of glasses when I was in the 1st grade. They just had like a rubber strap that went around my head so I wouldn't lose them. That's how long I've been wearing them. Number 2, if I could do an impression of Bane from The Dark Knight, I would do the whole episode in that voice. I do the whole season like that. I'd be like, Batman. Batman, this episode's about fashion, Batman. Seriously, or Christopher Walken. If I could do Christopher Walken, you guys would be in trouble, man. Fact number 3, I cannot catch or dribble. 43 years old, I cannot dribble a basketball, can't catch. One of my greatest romantic victories is I was on a double date this one time in Venice Beach. It was me and my homeboy. We were dating these 2 chicks from Long Island. Shout out Long Island. And I don't know how it happened. My homeboy was like 40, 50 paces in front of me, and he had a football. Out of nowhere, we were walking in an alley in Venice Beach. All of a sudden, he had a football. And he knows me. He knows I can't catch, and he's looking at me. He throws the ball. I panic, and I just jumped to go catch it. I went in slow motion. I'm telling you a true story right now. I caught the ball. Everywhere. The crowd went crazy. There was music. Dun, 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 and I caught it. Slid in slow motion. Just went right in my hands. I failed 7 years physical education, but I caught that football that day. That's how cute she was. Don't throw me anything if you see me on the street. Don't throw me an apple. Don't throw me house keys. Don't do it. Fact number 4, all my ex-girlfriends dress me. If I look good, I'm dating someone. If I'm disheveled, I'm single. Yep. And that brings us to the topic of this show, fashion. Fashion Batman. In this episode, we're going to look at fashion. I'm going to break it down from 3 angles with 3 different guests. I'll talk to a buyer, a designer, a store owner, so you can see the part that each one plays. I think you're really going to dig this. So chill out, listen in, and see how you fit.
You're now listening to the Parker Edison Project. This episode is about fashion.
Welcome back. Sampling is a pillar of hip-hop. It gave cats access to supplies they couldn't afford, like horn sections, choirs, singers. We didn't have those instruments or recording budgets, so we sampled it and rebuilt it into something new. Let me introduce you to my homeboy Leon. He's making something out of nothing, but more importantly, he's making something that matters to him.
Who are you and what do you do, sir?
I am Leon St. Heron. I am a creative director. I'm a designer. I'm an artist. I own and operate a brand called Heron Hues, based out of San Diego, California. And I want to live. I don't want to just be alive. I want to live. You know what I mean? So.
And who's that with you?
I'm here with my daughter, Vida, my baby, the young lady that I work hard for. You say hi, Vida.
Hi.
And I'm a huge fan of your rap history, but for listeners who are just now catching up to speed, can you tell us just in a few sentences about your musical history?
So originally, people most know me for my name, Veum Circa 86. I was in a group called Brother Nature, me, Roger Wallace, and it probably like the early 2000s is when I was probably the most prominent, and I'm the generation after your generation.
How'd you come to the name Heron Hues?
You know what? I've always been just good with coming up with titles and brands, and it's probably partially to do with just rap and being poetic and expression. I changed my name from Veum Circa 86 to Leon St. Heron. The Heron was my merch, and then the Hues is just like my expression on a color spectrum of, colorful expression. You know what I mean? So.
Do you design your fashion line or your clothing?
Probably like 70% of what you see from me is my design. I also work with people though, you know what I mean? Like, hey, can you do this better than I can? You know what I mean? And I also like I'm a design flipper. So sometimes I just throw my homie a design so he can send it back and I can flip an original idea. We used to just dig and sample. So I went from kind of digging and sampling cultural material to figuring out, oh yeah, I can just make it and then flip it again.
How do your designs come about? Like, is it a visual? Is it a dream? Where does it start?
I would like to see the normalization of Black imagery. When I drive around in my car and I think I how to word this, but the world makes you feel like who you are isn't beautiful. Who you are naturally. Like there's like probably some young African child out there who feels like they're too dark or their nose is too wide or whatever. But the truth is, if you know your history, if you know who you are, then you know that you're beautiful the way that you are. That goes to young white kids, young Asian kids, young Mexican kids, because the kids shouldn't have to feel like we feel. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Kids shouldn't have to feel like that.
In terms of what you're doing with fashion and imagery, what are your goals?
I know for sure one of my end goals is to be a basics provider. I would like to realistically be like a Hanes. I would like to be the brand that when a young person starts a clothing line, they're like, oh, what t-shirt should I print on? Oh, Heron Hues blanks.
To me, that's a big thing because automatically it tells me that you didn't have that when you were coming in and now you're providing that to the next generation. Mm-hmm. What are some differences that you would say just in the last 5 years that you've seen in the look of rap fashion?
It's become more and more high fashion. Like the same blanks Pharrell uses is the same blanks that I can get, that anybody can get. There's nothing that separates brands besides of really just the budget. Honestly, if you got the budget, then you could do anything.
I dig. Where can people find you?
They can find me. My website is heronhues.com.
Somewhere in our talk, Leon mentioned he and I are just a few years apart. But in that time, tech has advanced faster than any other man-made creation. Because of that, we have the internet. Because of the internet, we see more people, which means we see more clothes. So fashion trends that would have lasted 3 years in the 70s burn out in 6 months these days. I don't want to speak for him, but I think an artist like Leon is beating that mold by creating works with genuine depth and impact. The big factory model of quantity over quality is moot. Even his business model is sampling. He's pulling from rap's DIY model, but instead of getting rich quick, he's using it to lay an entrepreneurial foundation future artists can utilize to start their own ventures. That's big. Hang out. I'm going to take you to a store that features upstart brands like Heron Hues. Let's call it a PEPFT, a field trip. Stay tuned.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
Quarantine lockdown bringing your mood down? Boom! Elephants in the Room Lager, presented to you by Elephants in the Room and Amplified Ales.
Today, I'm taking you to a store that sells indie brands like Heron Hues, but before I do, let me introduce you to someone else you should know. Sandra Veum is a fashion stylist. I got the idea for this segment from a friend of mine. A while back, he was shopping and a salesperson told him how customers rarely ask for her help. They're professionally trained to put together outfits, but people never use them because they're intimidated. And that struck me kind of funny. Customers don't want to look like they don't know what they're doing, but in actuality, they don't know what they're doing. And ultimately, their outfits convey just that. I've been looking disheveled and I need to level up, but I don't know what to buy. Sandra buys clothes professionally, so check out what it's like to get styled.
Who are you?
My name is Sandra Veum, and I am in San Diego, and I am a personal wardrobe stylist. But I like to think of myself as a stylist for the everyday person. So, whoever out there who wants to develop their style, I'm your gal. I kind of look at myself as a style concierge.
Let's get into it. How does this work?
Okay. I try to make it as easy as possible. I want to be user-friendly and I want to be approachable. I have this conversation first, and then I send a very easy one-page questionnaire. For me, it gives me a good snapshot of where I can take this person and suggest things. From that questionnaire, I create probing questions. And then we have a Zoom call or a phone call. And I really get to know them even more so by the probing questions on the questionnaire. And then I create and present a strategic plan that I think best fits them, their budget, and their needs.
Tell me about the layout that you sent for Pinterest.
I'm a visualist, so it's funny. I can't cook, I can't draw. But I can hear someone, and for whatever reason, my mind just goes, and I can't stop myself. Like, you didn't even ask me to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to just pin a bunch of looks after talking with you. It's about hearing your goals, even helping create some goals, talking about what your future looks like, where you're currently at. And then I just kind of start pinning. I can't stop myself. Maybe it's a problem. I don't know.
Tell me about the outfits that you had in mind.
I always like challenges. So to me, street is taking something that is a certain genre, what people thinks, and breaking it up, throwing something unique in it and making it your own. After our discussion, I decided to choose the outfits really based on what you had told me. You really wanted to kind of see about adding texture and how to incorporate color into the wardrobe, how to have interchangeable pieces, maybe taking something that was dressed down and how you can amp it up, that fits now at the age of 40 and what that looks like. So it's all about getting that interchangeable wearability out of all the pieces that you own. The key are your shoes too. So you want to make sure that you have the right shoes, a sneaker, a cool boot. The key are shoes, and shoes.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you for tips. I was going to be like, hey, Sandra, can you give us some tips?
Well, there you go. You want to just look like effortless, like you're just put together and you're literally the best version of yourself. Something that's important for people to know is that people make an impression within 7 seconds. Now with Zoom, it's probably 3. But it's really, it's like cut that in half. But it's based on your mannerisms, your body language, your dressing style, and your overall appearance. Those 4 factors. And so what that tells me is it's how you look and how you feel about yourself. So it's about being smart and strategic with your shopping. So instead of just every year going and having to, it looks like spend a lot of money, maybe you go quarterly and you just kind of add to the foundation that you have. So it's not so overwhelming in a one-time shopping trip.
What's a fashion no-no? What's something that we definitely need to stop?
For guys?
Yes, please.
Okay, so whether you're just walking around, wrinkle equals bad. To me, it makes you look like you don't care. And so I envision maybe you don't care about your work. Maybe you don't care about yourself. Bad fit, poor fit is key. Even if you're going for a baggier denim, you want to make sure it's the correct bagginess. You know what I mean? And also another thing, a lot of guys, when they leave their shirts untucked, there's a certain length and balance of where that should hit on you. And again, sometimes they're too long, and you can get them where they're, made for your torso, or find a good tailor.
I've been talking to my guest, Sandra Veum. Sandra, where can people find you so that they can enlist your services?
I am, as I mentioned, in San Diego. My website is mymariposastyle.com. I am on Instagram under my name, Sandra Veum. I'm also on Pinterest under Mariposa Style. And I have a Facebook business page, Mariposa Style. And I created that specifically because I like to think of all of us being in cocoons. And then once we evolve, evolve into our own beautiful colored butterfly.
Clothes are like words, and combining them makes statements. So outfits send messages. In that context, what Sandra's doing as a stylist makes her similar to a speech therapist or a phone operator who's helping you to communicate clearer. If we looked at her profession like that, the price of clothes would go down and the value would go up. By the way, I added Sandra's Pinterest pics and vids to the PEP website if you'd like to see what she picked out for me. She's got wild good taste.
Stay tuned for more of the PE Project.
I love you. I think I always will. Even now, I'm reeling from the effect that you have on the rest of my life. I'm different now. As badly as I want to feel the heat between us, I know exactly how this is going to end.
Now streaming at platformcollection.com is the new film short, Run Rig, a who's who of San Diego talent. Brought to you by the good people at Platform Collection. Okay, this ep, we've met a designer of clothes and a professional buyer who buys clothes. Want to see the kind of store Sandra buys from when she styles her clients? Hey Dave, can we call 5 and a dime?
Coming right up.
Hello.
Jason.
How's it going?
Who are you and what city are you in?
My name is Jason Huggins, and I am in San Diego, California.
Jason, what do you do for a living?
I am a co-owner of a men's clothing apparel brand called 5 and a Dime. I've also been a long-running DJ of 25 years, I think. I've been DJing locally in San Diego. So I do have a DJ production company called Hickeys and Dry Humps. We do like throwback parties and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty much the meat of it. A jack of all trades, a master of none.
One of the things that I repeatedly heard from fashion heads about 5 and a Dime is your habit of getting fashion brands before anyone else takes note of them. How are you able to see what's going to be big before it hits?
I think we just got lucky. It was like right place, right time. 2005 when we launched our store, to be able to be fortunate to carry those streetwear brands right before they took off. You know, Crooks and Castles, the Hundreds, the guys from Information in Hawaii. Because the market wasn't super oversaturated at that point, we were able to really benefit.
You're just like a fashionista who just started to expose people to your fashion.
It was a bit of a learning curve. San Diego is a very reserved city. I think there were moments in time where we had to bring people to the water to drink. It's a little bit slower. So like if things were, I don't know so much about now because the internet, things are moving a lot faster. People are able to retain the information a lot quicker. But you know, a decade ago, that wasn't the case necessarily.
Pause. The last segment, I spoke to creative designer Leon St. Heron. Back around 2013, Leon was rapping under the name Bam Circa 86, or Bam for short. Bam Circa 86 and Ramel Real J Wallace made up a rap duo called Brother Nature, and Brother Nature did a song and music video called Riches and Rags that doubled as a showcase for the store's clothing. Today, in 2021, that's pretty smart. But 9 years ago, in 2012, that was really smart. I wanted to know how that happened and came about.
Bam and Ramel were good friends of the shop and had been an integral part of it for a long time. And, you know, with us supporting San Diego, we're like, what if we did a music lookbook video? What we were trying to describe was the struggles that we've seen in San Diego with homelessness, and then our own personal struggles financially. And then we're like, what if we did like this trading places thing? Can we tell that story in 2 minutes in a lookbook, right?
That's so deep, because on the outside, I saw that jump-started Ramel, Real J's foray into film. He started doing short films after that and hasn't stopped. It always came off as we're back in the homeboy.
We want to use Five on a Dime as an outlet to express like the people that we know, who we mess with, like who we support, you know what I mean? Bam actually designed some stuff for our brand. He's done like back in the day he did some designs for us too. So and some of them which we put out. He's always been a talented dude though. That's the thing. It's like these guys have always been talented. It's I guess we were just a step in the ladder to help pull that out of them.
Where will Five on a Dime be in 5 years?
I would like to see us have a bigger stake online. I'd like for more people outside of San Diego to know who we are. I mean, that's pretty much it, man. So my name is Jason Huggins. I am co-owner of Five on a Dime in San Diego. You can currently find us at 5andadime.com. And you can find us on Instagram at 5andadime.com.
Hey, you gotta go to the PEP website and listen to part 2 of this interview. I'm not saying we put the best stuff there, but we couldn't fit it all right here. Go check it out. Our topic is fashion. And in this episode, we've talked to a creative who's designed clothes, to a buyer who buys clothes, and a store that's behind clothes, being sold to people. A lot. And this process could apply to any product. But fashion is unique because it doesn't work on its own. It requires a person with their own message. If we all thought the same, fashion wouldn't exist. We'd all just wear one thing. But we don't. We wear our clothes like flags that tell where we're from. Per usual, I'd like to know your thoughts, comments, feedback, and hit me on the new Twitter, THEPEP on KPBS, the PEP on KPBS. What's your go-to outfit to feel confident and stun on your competition? Hit me up, THEPEP on KPBS. And I'm looking at my monitor, and I got something fly for this episode. This is exclusive. Right now at the Casbah, they're live streaming a show. It's called One Night Only and features some fire acts. They're going to patch us into their feed so you'll be able to hear a performance. I'm not going to even give away who it is. They'll introduce themselves. Hey, I'll see you guys next episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Invisible Ponchos.
die for the record, and I promise I'll go out with some style. Never on your dial, right below your feet though. Never in a trap, too quick up on my feet. So I prefer the forest over trees, the storm over breeze, and I can give a fuck how you rap. So what about that? I don't give a what though. I can't really say that you are whack, you ain't enough though. I can't tell you how to understand if you're always under plan and you never wanna dream past your block. I'm focused on my stock, deep inside my chest. The boy is all hard, it's coming with the best. I'm focused on the love and the art. So get in before I leave. Before I gotta go, I let it breathe. You can't tell me nothing. 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 And I'm bored with the scene. Nobody's doing nothing that we ain't already seen. Yeah, and they lost in their words. Nobody's saying something that we ain't already heard. And I've been on my BI, focused on the bag since I've been only a knee high. And this kid's been through it. You pass him on the street, I bet you never even knew it. Hold up. Break out of my brain. Break out of the cycle, spending money on your chain. Same game, never proclaim for the fame. And lick another shot if you feel the same thing. Wait up. On a GeneFlo beat, I'm playing in the clouds while I levitate the streets. And I bet I never sleep. In a fresh state of mind, we go deep. You can't tell me nothing. 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 You can't tell me nothing.
Thanks for stopping in. The Parker Edison Project is produced and hosted by yours truly, Parker Edison, and the good people at Platform Collection. Be sure to subscribe and catch the next episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, visit theparkeredisonproject.com or hit us on Instagram at the PE Project. My guy Kurt Kohnen is audio production manager. Kinsey Moore-Lynn is my favorite podcast coordinator. Lisa Jane Morissette is operations manager, and John Decker is associate general manager for content. This programming is made possible in part by the KPBS Explore Content Fund. I love saying that because it reminds me of Sesame Street. Y'all stay safe out there.
Well, all right. That's it for now. Thank you. Goodbye.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.